Okay, this is now tarot lesson number 7, and I'd like to make a point first, and then we'll look at some cards. So this is partly in response to some comments that have been left, and I'd like to say that it's really easy when it comes to the tarot and related subjects. It's easy to get carried away. You know, you can get carried away in what we might call a good way, where you think you're on fire and you're looking at a card and all these meanings come to you and you're talking about it and it's quite fluid. But it can also be the other kind of carried away, where you turn a card and get, let's say, the King of Cups, for instance, and you automatically assume this is a bad person, or the person got it in for you, and you imagine that you're never going to be able to protect yourself against the influence of this individual. That kind of situation where you get carried away with your own doubts or fears or anticipating problems. So, and it could be that if you're reading for somebody else, you see the worst, or if you're reading for yourself, you imagine that things are impossible to fix. So, I'd like to talk about two antidotes to that type of excitement. So one is, and this is in reply to somebody, I can't find the comment that was left, but I think it's important with the tarot is, I think it's important that we educate ourselves. So this means that we expand our horizons in different kinds of ways. I think we need to read poetry and literature and Shakespeare and philosophy and ideas about different things. I'm going to mention Thomas Troward, Troward. Go to projectgutenberg.org and download his books for free from there. They're very interesting. But it means that when you come to look at what's going on in life for you or for anybody else, you're in a better position to make sense of it. You know more. You've got a better vocabulary, so you can describe things, because things aren't just black and white. There are shades of grey between them. And when you have a better vocabulary, or you've been introduced to ideas through literature or through poetry, you're more able to be correct in what you say, because it's not just black or white, it's somewhere in between. So that's part of it. It's important to educate ourselves. If we're not happy to read, go onto YouTube. You get videos on Greek philosophy, on Nietzsche, on all sorts of things. And you can just listen to the information. And that way you're educating yourself as well. So I think self-education is really important. The other thing is, if I can remember it, I think it's important to go one step at a time. So if we look at the Wheel of Fortune, for it, there's a card, the Wheel of Fortune. And so we think about one idea of this particular card, and it represents, maybe we say it represents change because the wheel moves around, or it represents movement. And so, or maybe we look at it, what was at the bottom is going to be at the top, or what's at the top is going to be at the bottom. So you pick one idea, and then you stop. And then you go away and do something else and come back 10 minutes later, and then you look again at your idea. And this is particularly useful, I think, if you're reading for yourself. Because let's say you get the Eight of Swords, I don't know if I can find it, and you think, oh no, I'm trapped. So instead of thinking, oh no, I'm trapped, and then all sorts of details come to mind about why you're trapped and how you're never going to get out of it, and how these people are much stronger than you and how you're too weak and all the rest of it, we can really go to town on ourselves with the picture that we paint. So if you get something like the Eight of Swords or the Tower reversed or something like that, Write down one idea connected with that card, and then close your notebook or close your book or go away and do something for 10 minutes or talk to somebody else, and then come back and then look at the word that you wrote down. And you'll find that you see it more clearly, or you see it better, and you're able to do something with the information rather than panic. So that's kind of how you read for yourself. You take one point and you stop, and then you go away and do something else. Then you come back and you think about that one point that you made. And if you're reading for other people, I think what we do is we go slowly, because it's tempting to turn a card or turn cards and look at them until we find, or keep looking until we find something we're comfortable with. And that means you're avoiding an awful lot of stuff. So I think what you do is you turn, let's say the question wants to know, tell me the future, and we get the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So you talk about knights being messengers, but it's upside down. So there's a delay or a glitch, or something doesn't quite work out as expected. So if you're expecting a letter or a payment or somebody to come along and give you some cash, it's going to be delayed. It's one way of looking at it. Rather than look at the card and not know what it means and then pick another card to try and describe it or explain it, come up with one thing about the particular card, and then work at it and do something with it, rather than skip to something else that you're more comfortable with. So the reason I'm talking like this is because I want to show you this. This is using numbers, using Cairo's numbers. And if I remember, I'll put a link in the description, or put the value of the letters in the description. But Tarot is 41274, and that adds up to 18. So we could get excited because the 18th major trump, I have it here, is the Tower. I mean the Moon, sorry. I was thinking of something else there. It's the Moon. And so what we do is maybe we look at the Moon card, and what is the Tarot about? It's about moving from one environment into a new one. And it's about transforming you or your life or your situation from one situation that you got used to because the crayfish has got used to being in the water. Now you have to emerge onto the land, and now you have to do different things, understand different things, learn to breathe differently, learn to do things differently. So instead of taking the Tarot as 18 and saying the Moon is a bad card and the Tarot is a bad subject to be looking at, or it's potentially problematic, or whatever you want to say, take one idea from the picture and think about it. So either write it down and go away and do something else and come back half an hour later and then pick up where you left off, and you'll find that you can do more with it, and you won't, if you were worried about it, you won't be as worried. The other thing is, because this is number 7, I picked out the Chariot, and I often think, well, it's easy to think of the Chariot. It's not so much the Chariot, it's the charioteer. It's the person who's in control of the chariot that's important in this particular card. And a while ago, I heard myself say to somebody, and I'd never said it before in 40 years of looking at tarot cards, I looked at the card and said automatically, without thinking, are you a good driver? And maybe that's what the meaning, that's what one of the points can be about the Chariot card. Are you a good driver? And then you stop at that point and you think, okay, later you think, okay, what does a good driver mean? Does it mean you know how to follow the rules of the road? Or does it mean that in an emergency, you'll react well, or you react instinctively? Or does it mean that you pay attention to what you're doing? So if you get the idea of the Chariot, a good driver, and then you later think, what does a good driver mean? Or what does it take to be a good driver? And then that can make you think, okay, the Chariot reversed. What does it mean to be a bad driver? That you don't pay attention, that you're on the phone, that you're daydreaming, that you don't know where you're going, that your lane changed at the last moment, that because you weren't paying attention to what was going on around you on the road and you weren't following the signs. Or do you jump red traffic lights? All of which can be translated into certain types of behavior that are appropriate depending on the question that was asked. So, will I meet someone and have a good relationship? The Chariot reversed. No, because you're not paying attention. You're not looking at the person that you're attracted to or that you'd like to be attracted to, or you ignore them, or you knock them off the road. So they're doing what they're doing and they're quite happy with it, but you go in and you ambush them or undermine them or in some way force them off the road, because that's what a bad driver does. So that's my thought for today, that we take it easy with the tarot and don't expect to know everything tomorrow. And the other thing is, you know more tomorrow, but a week from now you may have to revise tomorrow's ideas to incorporate new information that you come across over the next week. So it's kind of an ongoing story, you could say. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday with number 8. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Okay, bye-bye.